Hi everybody, welcome to my Big Tidy Up. My name is DeDe. Now if this is your first time finding me out here in big old YouTube land, I am glad you found me, and I don't think you found me by accident because I don't believe in accidents. I believe things happen for a reason, so you are definitely meant to be here today, so welcome. Here at my Big Tidy Up, I like to focus on decluttering, organizing, decorating, simple DIYs, and tips and tricks for our home that can make life so much easier. And if you're one of my regular tidy uppers, you'll know I love you. You already know all of that, so let's just jump right into today's video. Now today what I'm going to be doing a couple of things I just talked about. I'm going to be decluttering, and I'm going to be sharing some tips and tricks with you and my rules to try, in quotations, try to keep a decluttered home. Now you do know what they say about rules. Rules are meant to be broken. Well, I have to admit some of these rules, occasionally I break, but I'm trying to get better, and I'm not going for perfection, just progress. I appreciate you guys joining me today, so let's get some decluttering going. Let's talk about those rules and tips and tricks to keep a decluttered home, and let's get tidy. Rule number 1, make a plan and give yourself a finish line, an ending point. Don't just go into a huge big room and think, I'm going to get it all done today, because anything less than that, you're going to feel discouraged. So anytime I'm doing a declutter, whether it's a huge big room or maybe it's a room that just has some hidden places like this room today, I'm just going to be tackling these 2 drawers on this side table. I'm not going to worry about anything else. That way I know I'm done with these drawers. I can move to the next area. I get a little self-esteem. I get a little pat on the back. I feel like I've accomplished something, and I'm moving to the next area. I'm not going to get distracted. I'm not going to start looking in the other drawers. I've set a plan, and for this room, I'm just going to be in and out and tackle 2 drawers. So always remember to give yourself a finish point. Maybe it's 1 drawer, maybe it's 2 drawers, maybe it's a little closet, maybe it's just one corner of the room, or maybe you set a timer for 10 or 15 minutes and you call it good and you move on. Rule number 2, gather your gear. And by gathering your gear, I mean just make sure you have everything you're going to need before you start your decluttering project. Don't give yourself an excuse or a reason to leave the area, because sometimes when we leave the area, we never make it back. Now, when I do a decluttering project, I always like to have some kind of storage container. It can be a rubber tote, a box, baskets, it can be a trash bag, but make sure that you've got a container so you can actually take those items and remove them from the area. And you know, if you're doing a long project, make sure you have the things that's going to make it enjoyable. If you need a bottle of water, if you need your music playing or something in the background, do the things that will make you happy while you're decluttering. Now for me, I know my hair is going to get on my nerves, so I'm going to do a quick ponytail. I've got music playing, I've got my gear with my basket, and I'm ready to go. Now I know when I opened these drawers the first time, you all with your eagle eyes noticed that I did have a water bottle in here, and you probably thought, what is she doing, storing trash? No, I wasn't storing trash. I do have random things like this DirecTV guide when there's no television in this room. But actually I keep the water bottle to refill the diffuser, and when I step out of the shot, you'll see it's behind me. I actually do have a diffuser in this room, but it's just easier than going and getting a cup from the kitchen or bringing a pitcher of water in. It's just easy to fill the water bottle. I can fill it twice and run the diffuser 2 times, and I just keep it with the essential oils, and it's just a little bit more convenient. As I was preparing for this video, I really started thinking, what is clutter? Now, I know clutter can mean different things to different people, but I thought I'm just going to do a deep dive and Google it. Now, mind you, it wasn't a deep dive like I do when I do a deep dive on WebMD, and tell me I'm not the only one that does that. But I did look it up, and the most common definition is to fill or cover with disordered things that impede movement or reduce effectiveness or efficiency. So sometimes I think that we think everything's got to be a big pile of stuff, and sometimes it is. But a lot of times it's just things that we need to get rid of or move to a different location to make our life more efficient. Rule number 3, ask yourself the easy questions about your items. 1, have you used it? 2, will you use it in the near future? 3, would you buy it again? And 4, does it belong where you currently have it? Now, those of you that have been with me, you know we've entered the danger zone. We've entered my closet and my clothes, which is my hardest thing to keep decluttered. And several months ago, March 12th to be exact, I did a video where I decluttered an extra room that had some extra clothes stored in it. And I remember saying on the video, I'm going to use these items, I'm certain of it. Well, I am a liar, pants on fire, because out of all these items, I only have worn one thing since that time, and it was this dress, and I will be keeping it. But everything else is going to go because I've had it in here long enough and it hasn't been used. So that's one thing you can do that helps me. I give myself a little time limit. If I haven't used it by a certain time, it needs to go. You can also set yourself up a decluttering schedule, and it doesn't even have to be a big deal. It can just be something simple, like at the end of every season, you're going to check and see if you use those seasonal items. At the end of summer, did you use all of your summer clothes? Did you use all the items you had outside for your summer patio? Just something like that. And yes, tidy uppers, that does mean that I will be going back to my clothes closet when summer is over. Rule number 4, ask yourself the hardest questions. And these are hard questions, friends. And you guys know I like to joke and laugh, and I kind of have a silly sense of humor. But these questions are hard because they're not black and white questions like, have you used it, yes or no? These are questions, and it comes to our feelings and how we feel about the things that we're holding on to that maybe we shouldn't. Maybe we're holding on to something because it was a pricey item and we have buyer's remorse and we paid so much for it that we don't want to let it go. Or maybe it makes us think of something about ourselves. Remember when I did a big declutter of all of my professional clothes? I was holding on to those for so long because I didn't want to let that part of my life go. Or sometimes it's an unfinished project. We hold on to something. Like this little tray right here, I've had for several months, and when I look at it, I don't feel real good because what I wanted to do was paint it and redo it. Well, it's been months and I never did it. So when I look at it, it makes me think of what I haven't done. And so I'm not going to get it done. And so I'm going to let it go. Now, don't get me wrong, friends. I don't think that we should throw away all of our unfinished projects. Yes, we should try to finish our projects. All I'm suggesting is that when you look at an item, does it make you feel good? Because if it brings feelings of guilt or shame or regret, maybe it's time to let it go. Rule number 5, divide and conquer. Now, what I found works really well for me is when I finish a big closet declutter or a big room declutter, or even if I just do small little individual declutters throughout my home like I've done today, I need to sit down and immediately sort and go through all of my items. I don't want to leave the box or the basket or whatever laying around because really I'm not decluttering anything. I'm just moving stuff from one area to some other random area, and it's like in a holding pattern. So I like to sit down and sort everything, and I usually put it into several categories. I have a trash pile, I have a donate pile, and then I have like a relocate, doesn't belong pile. So maybe I found something that needs to go somewhere else. Maybe the item doesn't have a home and I need to give it a home, because everything in your home should have a place, and a place for everything in your home. Well, I've got my sorting done, and here's my relocate pile, and a few of these items will be going to new homes. I've got my trash pile, and why I kept this old bag of potpourri, I have no idea. It probably doesn't even have any smell anymore. And why I keep a broken candle holder, not quite sure, but I'll be getting rid of all of those items. We have fun and games, us two. Go ahead and prove me wrong. And here is my donation pile. Actually, this is my first donation pile. I'll bag all of this up and it's going to one location. And then this is my second donation pile because I did some checking and these items a school would like to have. An art teacher would like these shells for art projects, and these popcorn bags, well, they'll be perfect for some classroom popcorn parties. And yes, I do have a soft spot for educators because you know those classroom budgets don't get everything done and they spend so much money out of their own pocket. So anytime I have anything that I think an educator could use, I always donate it. So always keep that in mind. If you're decluttering, an educator may gladly take something that you're getting rid of. So thank you, teachers, for all you do. Actually, anyone in education, whether you're administration, a teacher, paraprofessional, custodial, maintenance, food service, bus drivers, secretaries, anybody I missed, I'm sorry. Thank you, and have a good year. And last but not least, the final rule, number 6, out of sight, out of mind. And what that means for me is I'm loading it up and it's leaving my home. Elvis has left the building. I don't need to second guess it. I don't need to leave it laying around where I may be tempted to go grab something out of the box because you see, I've already thought about my decision twice. Once when I picked it up out of the area and I put it in the declutter basket, and then again when I sorted it. The decision's been made and it needs to go. Well, Tidy Uppers, that's it for today. Thank you all so much for tuning in. I appreciate each and every one of you being here. I hope this video was helpful. I hope it gave you some inspiration, maybe some motivation, and maybe some new ideas on how you can keep your own spaces decluttered. But you know what I really hope? More than anything, I hope it maybe gave you a little mind shift that not every time you declutter, it needs to look like an episode of Hoarders. You don't have to have a massive declutter every time to make it successful. Just little changes, do things that can help you breathe and your home have room to breathe as well. I appreciate you guys joining me today. Please take care of yourself, and until I see you in the next one, stay tidy.